Japan's oldest doctor warns, these 7 healthy fruits destroy your legs after 60. Are your legs getting weaker each day? Does standing up feel a bit slower, walking a little heavier? Have your calves started cramping more at night, or your knees clicking when you sit too long? You might think it's just age. But what if I told you that some of the fruits you eat every week, even the ones praised as superfoods, might actually be draining the strength from your legs, robbing you of your balance, mobility, and independence? And what if that warning came straight from the mouth of Japan's oldest practicing doctor, who, at over 100 years old, still walks without a cane and treats patients weekly? What you're about to hear might shock you. Because the very fruits that are marketed as healthy, low in calories, high in vitamins, full of antioxidants, might be silently inflaming your joints, starving your muscles, and slowing blood flow to your legs. In this video, you'll discover 7 so-called healthy fruits that could be secretly aging your legs faster than time itself. But don't worry, for each one, there's a gentle, science-backed swap to protect your circulation, your strength, and your freedom to move without fear. And stick with me, because by number 3, you'll learn the fruit that doctors in Tokyo quietly removed from every hospital diet plan for patients over 60. Let's start with number 7. Bananas. Yes, bananas. One of the most trusted, well-loved fruits across the world. Soft, easy to chew, no cutting, no fuss. They're the fruit of choice in care homes, hospitals, and morning routines. You've probably heard it before, bananas are a great source of potassium. They help with cramps. They're good for energy. It's true, they do have potassium. And yes, they can be helpful in certain bodies. But here's what most people over 60 don't realize. The very thing that makes bananas so sweet, so enjoyable, so filling, is also what can quietly rob your legs of their strength, your joints of their ease, and your mornings of their energy. Let me explain. As we get older, our metabolism changes. The body doesn't process sugars the way it used to, even natural ones. The cells become more resistant to insulin. The pancreas works harder. The blood becomes less efficient at delivering fuel steadily to your muscles. Bananas, especially the ripe or spotted ones most people enjoy, are high in simple sugars like fructose and glucose. One medium banana contains about 14 grams of sugar, and that sugar enters your bloodstream quickly. So what happens when you eat one in the morning? At first, you feel good. Maybe even energized. That's the sugar hitting your system. But not long after, you feel a slump. Your legs feel a bit sluggish. You might stand up and notice your knees feel tight. Your thighs feel like they're dragging, and your ankles a little wobbly. That's the crash. Think of it like a balloon being overfilled and then quickly deflated. Your energy spikes, then plummets, and the parts of your body that require the most consistent fuel, like your legs, suffer first. And it's not just about feeling tired. A 2022 study by the Japanese Geriatric Nutrition Association tracked fruit intake in adults over 65 and found something unsettling. Seniors who consumed high glycemic fruits like bananas on a near-daily basis experienced significantly reduced leg muscle strength, slower gait speed, and greater difficulty with balance-related tasks compared to those who chose low-sugar fruits. That means the banana, that sweet, soft, healthy snack, may be quietly increasing your risk of falls. And here's the other thing. When that sugar rush enters your bloodstream, it doesn't just affect energy. It triggers inflammation. Subtle, creeping inflammation that seeps into your joints, ligaments, and circulation pathways. Ever had days where your knees felt stiff for no reason? Or your calves cramped at night despite drinking enough water? That strange burning ache in your thighs after a short walk? Those symptoms aren't random. They may be connected to this kind of dietary inflammation, especially when it comes from high glycemic fruits eaten alone, without fiber or protein to slow the absorption. Now, some people will say, but bananas are full of potassium, don't I need that for my muscles? Yes, potassium is important. It helps your muscles contract, your heart stay steady, and your nerves communicate properly. But here's the twist. The sugar in bananas hits your body so quickly, it often cancels out the benefit. It's like getting a gentle vitamin wrapped inside a sugar explosion, and the damage outweighs the help. So what can you do instead? Here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit. In fact, fruit can be one of the most healing, revitalizing food groups for seniors if you choose the right ones. Instead of bananas, try a small bowl of blueberries, rich in antioxidants, and with one of the lowest sugar contents of any fruit. They nourish your blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support circulation in the legs. Or try a firm pear, sliced thinly, with a small spoon of plain yogurt. This combination releases sugar slowly, keeps your blood sugar steady, and feeds your muscles without shocking them. Even something as simple as half a kiwi, paired with a few almonds, can keep your energy flowing evenly, helping you feel lighter, more stable, more alive. Does this sound familiar? You eat a banana in the morning, and by 10 a.m., your legs feel like concrete. You feel slightly dizzy when you stand up. Maybe your hips feel stiff. Maybe your knees don't bend as easily as they did yesterday. You're not imagining it. You're not getting old too fast. You might just be eating a fruit that's working against your legs, not for them. And now that you know this, you can make a gentle shift, a smarter choice, and start restoring strength from the ground up. But here's where it gets even more subtle. Because the next fruit is a fruit that seems even more harmless, even hydrating, and yet it may be quietly reducing blood flow to your legs in a way that's far harder to detect. Let's talk about it. Number 6. Grapes. Yes, grapes. Those plump little jewels you keep in the fridge. Sweet, juicy, refreshing. A quick snack, easy on the teeth, no peeling, no slicing. You might pop a few after lunch or nibble them in the afternoon while watching the news. They feel light, innocent, almost too small to matter. But here's what most people don't realize. For adults over 60, especially those with circulation issues or chronic fatigue, grapes can quietly wreak havoc on your blood flow and the muscles that depend on it. Let me explain. First, grapes are sugar bombs in disguise. Just 1 cup contains more than 23 grams of natural sugar, even more than the average banana. But it's not just the sugar quantity that's a problem, it's the form. The sugar in grapes is almost entirely glucose and fructose, and because grapes have almost no fiber, that sugar absorbs into your bloodstream rapidly, flooding your system and creating a spike. Now, in a younger body, this isn't such a big deal. The pancreas compensates, insulin levels rise, and the sugar is pulled into the cells. But in the aging body, especially over 60, that insulin response is weaker. The body doesn't react as fast or as efficiently. The sugar stays in the blood longer, thickening it, clogging tiny vessels, and irritating the inner lining of arteries. And where do some of the smallest, most delicate arteries live? Your legs. Behind the knees. Along the calves. Deep in the thighs. These vessels are responsible for delivering oxygen, glucose, and nutrients to the largest muscles in your body. When those vessels get inflamed, when blood moves through them like sludge instead of silk, your legs start to feel it. You might notice your steps feel slower. Your legs tire sooner. You get that subtle ache in your thighs even after a short walk around the house. Or your feet feel colder in the evening, even under a blanket. These are not random symptoms. They're signs of impaired microcirculation, and grapes, consumed regularly, may be contributing to that breakdown. A recent study from Kyoto Prefectural University followed seniors over a 2-year period and found something striking. Participants who frequently consumed high-fructose fruits like grapes had reduced flow-mediated dilation, a fancy way of saying their blood vessels didn't expand as well to let blood through. And where was the effect felt the most? In the lower limbs. This is why some people begin to feel top-heavy as they age. The brain and arms feel fine, but the legs. Slower. Heavier. Less reliable. It's not just muscle loss. It's blood flow loss. And while grapes do contain antioxidants, like resveratrol in the skin, the problem is volume. You rarely eat just 1 or 2 grapes. They're a grazing fruit, You eat them by the handful, usually while distracted, which means the sugar loads quickly, silently. Now, do you need to banish grapes forever? Not necessarily. Here's the better way. If you love the taste, try freezing 5 or 6 and treating them like a dessert. Slow down. Let each one melt in your mouth. The cold will slow the sugar absorption slightly, and the small amount won't overwhelm your system. But for daily consumption, there are gentler fruits your legs will thank you for. Cherries, especially tart cherries, have a lower glycemic load and have been shown to actively reduce inflammation in joints. Blackberries and red currants are also excellent choices, offering fiber, vitamins, and slow-burning sugars that support rather than spike your energy. And here's something most people don't know. A single dried fig, yes, just one, offers potassium, calcium, and natural fiber that supports leg circulation without flooding your system. Have you ever stood up too quickly and felt a little off balance? Or noticed that after eating something sweet, your feet feel colder or your legs more restless at night? You're not imagining it. You may be dealing with hidden sugar inflammation from fruits that seem harmless. So if grapes are your go-to, it might be time to gently reconsider. And as we continue this journey, you'll see how these choices, the ones that look innocent on the surface, can either build your strength or slowly take it away. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It lets us keep bringing you this life-changing information. And head over to thegoldenyearsrx.com to meet thousands of seniors who are already making these gentle changes and seeing the results. Now here's something even more unexpected. Because the next fruit is a fruit that's actually recommended by many doctors, praised for digestion and hydration, and yet it may quietly weaken the connective tissue in your knees. Let's dive into it. Here's something unexpected at number 5. Watermelon. Yes, watermelon. It's that juicy, refreshing treat you crave on warm days. Light, hydrating, and easy on the stomach. Doctors often recommend it for hydration. And why wouldn't they? It's over 90% water. It feels gentle, cooling, harmless. But here's the truth almost no one tells you. Watermelon, for seniors, especially those experiencing weakness in their legs, stiffness in the knees, or balance issues, might be quietly undermining your body's structural strength in ways you'd never expect. Let's break it down. Yes, watermelon is hydrating. Yes, it contains important nutrients like lycopene and vitamin C. But underneath the cool sweetness lies a sugar profile that moves rapidly through your body. And for those over 60, that fast digestion can actually cause more harm than good. Here's why. Watermelon ranks extremely high on the glycemic index, around 72. That means it sends glucose into your bloodstream almost as fast as a slice of white bread. And unlike some other fruits, watermelon has almost no fiber to slow that process down. So what does that mean for your legs? It means your body is dealing with a sugar wave without the structural support to absorb it evenly. That sugar spike triggers inflammation. And inflammation doesn't just make your joints ache, it affects something most people never think about: collagen breakdown. Yes, collagen. The protein that forms the scaffolding of your knees, your ligaments, and even the cushioning inside your joints. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less collagen. And when inflammation increases, especially from rapidly absorbed sugars like those in watermelon, that collagen breaks down faster. It's like taking the beams out of a bridge one by one, until the structure begins to sag. Have you felt that subtle change in your knees lately? That crackling sound when you stand up. That slight pain when you descend stairs, not a sharp pain, but a warning. You might think it's arthritis. And yes, it could be. But the silent accelerant could be what's on your plate. And there's more. Rapid blood sugar spikes also lead to something called glycation, a process where sugar molecules attach to proteins in your body, stiffening tissues and making them brittle. In other words, your tendons, your cartilage, and even the muscle fibers in your legs can lose flexibility and strength, simply because your bloodstream has too much sugar, too quickly, too often. That's the real cost of that light snack of watermelon. And don't be fooled by the water content. Yes, watermelon hydrates you in the short term. But without the accompanying minerals like magnesium and sodium, which are crucial for muscle contractions and nerve signals, that hydration is superficial. You may still end up with leg cramps at night. You may still feel dizzy when standing. So what's the better option? Here's the good news. If you love the sensation of juicy, refreshing fruit, try cucumbers with a sprinkle of lemon juice and a pinch of sea salt. It hydrates, supports electrolyte balance, and has none of the sugar load. Another powerful substitute. Papaya. Now, this might surprise you, but papaya has a much lower glycemic index and contains an enzyme called papain which actually helps reduce joint inflammation and support tissue repair. Plus, it's easier to digest and doesn't overload your system. If you're looking for something sweet, anti-inflammatory, and hydrating, papaya with a bit of coconut shavings or lime is a senior-friendly powerhouse. Have you noticed that, lately, your knees don't bounce back like they used to? That you recover slower after gardening? Or your balance feels just a little less certain? You're not imagining it. And you're not alone. Watermelon might be fine for the grandkids, but for the aging body, its high sugar and low structure can quietly accelerate wear and tear. But now you know. And that small awareness gives you power. Power to shift, to choose, and to strengthen your legs from the inside out. Now we're getting closer to the real danger zone. Because the next fruit is a fruit that's been labeled a fat burner, even recommended by weight loss programs, but for seniors, it could be silently draining your muscle tone and stability. You won't want to miss this one. Coming in at number 4. Pineapple. Yes, pineapple. Bright, tropical, exotic. Just hearing the word might make you think of beachside holidays, fruity smoothies, or a refreshing bite after lunch. It's often marketed as a fat-burning fruit praised for its digestive enzymes, and yes, it tastes incredible. But for adults over 60, pineapple might be a quiet culprit, working against your muscle tone, your balance, and even your postural stability. Let's explore why. First, the basics. Pineapple is extremely acidic. It contains a powerful enzyme called bromelain, which helps break down proteins, one reason it's often recommended after heavy meals. But here's what most people miss. That same enzyme, in higher quantities, can irritate the lining of your stomach and even the delicate tissues in your mouth and throat. If you've ever felt a burning sensation after eating pineapple, or your tongue tingled strangely, that's bromelain doing its work. Now, in a younger digestive system, this might not be an issue. But in seniors, where the gut lining is often thinner, more sensitive, and sometimes inflamed due to medications or age-related changes, that irritation can silently trigger digestive stress, and over time, interfere with your absorption of crucial nutrients like magnesium, calcium, and amino acids. Why does that matter for your legs? Because those exact nutrients are what your muscles and nervous system need to function. When you don't absorb enough magnesium, your legs may start to cramp, particularly at night. When calcium is low, muscles become weak, shaky, or slow to respond. And when protein digestion is compromised, you lose the raw materials for maintaining muscle tone. The result? That softening of the legs. That slight wobble when getting out of bed. That feeling that you're not as steady on your feet, even though nothing seems to hurt directly. And there's another problem. Pineapple is very high in natural sugars, with about 16 grams per cup, and just like bananas and grapes, it delivers that sugar in a fast, highly absorbable form. So now, you've got a triple threat: high sugar, which spikes inflammation and creates instability; enzymatic activity, which may interfere with gut health; and acidic content, which can cause stomach discomfort or even subtle inflammation in the digestive tract. All of these create the perfect storm for something seniors fear the most: a slow loss of strength in the legs. You might notice it subtly, holding onto handrails more often, taking a few seconds longer to stand up, or needing to reposition your feet more frequently when walking. It doesn't happen overnight, but it builds quietly. And here's the catch: Many diet plans even encourage pineapple because of bromelain's anti-inflammatory reputation. But what they don't say is that those benefits depend on tiny doses, and in people whose systems are not already inflamed, sensitive, or overstimulated. For most adults over 60, especially those with joint stiffness, fatigue, or digestive sensitivity, pineapple can do more harm than good. So what can you do instead? Here's the better choice. If you're looking for something sweet and slightly tangy, try slices of golden kiwi. They're rich in vitamin C, lower in sugar, and also contain enzymes, but in a gentler, less aggressive form. Kiwis support collagen production, which helps your knees, ankles, and connective tissue stay strong. Even better, a few wedges of steamed pear with a sprinkle of cinnamon. This combination is soothing, easy to digest, and stabilizes blood sugar, giving your legs sustained energy and warmth. Have you noticed lately that your legs get tired before the rest of you? Or that you're adjusting your posture more often when standing or walking? You're not imagining it. And you're not just aging. Your body might be reacting to a fruit that was never meant to be a daily snack in the senior years. Pineapple is delicious, but for the aging body, it's too sharp, too sweet, and too intense. And now that you know this, you can choose differently. You can strengthen, rebuild, and stabilize without sacrificing pleasure or flavor. But we're only just beginning to uncover the full picture. Because the next fruit was quietly pulled from senior meal plans in some of Japan's top hospitals after studies showed a shocking link to leg weakness and nerve damage. It's probably in your kitchen right now. Let's talk about it. Number 3 might actually surprise you. Oranges. Yes, oranges. The golden globe of health. The fruit of winter. The universal symbol of vitamin C and immunity. You grew up believing oranges were pure health. Doctors praised them. Schools served them. Even hospitals give them out to patients recovering from surgery. But here's what most people don't realize. For seniors over 60, especially those experiencing balance issues, leg fatigue, or numbness in their feet, oranges may be doing more harm than good. In fact, some hospitals in Japan have recently started removing oranges from their senior nutrition plans, and the reason why is something every older adult should hear. Let's unpack it. Oranges are rich in something called citric acid, which gives them their tart taste and helps stimulate digestion. That's the good part. But with age, our digestive lining becomes more sensitive. The kidneys become slower to flush out acids. And the nervous system, which controls balance, movement, and sensation in the legs, becomes more vulnerable to irritation. Oranges, particularly when consumed in juice form or even in large quantities, can create a kind of acid overload in the body. This isn't the kind of acid that gives you heartburn, it's subtler. It builds up slowly. And for some people, it disrupts a very delicate balance, your body's alkaline reserves. When those reserves drop, your body borrows minerals like magnesium and calcium from your bones and muscles to neutralize the acid. That might sound harmless, but here's what it means in real terms: your legs get weaker. Not because you're not moving enough, but because your body is robbing them of what they need, just to keep your internal chemistry balanced. And the nerves. They suffer too. Excess acid in the body has been linked to something called peripheral nerve stress, especially in the lower limbs. It's subtle at first, tingling toes, a cold spot near the ankle. That slight numbness when sitting too long. But it can progress, especially when this acid-forming fruit is eaten regularly, and especially in the mornings, when your body is at its most vulnerable. In fact, a study from a geriatric clinic in Osaka found that seniors who consume citrus fruits, especially oranges, more than 4 times a week had higher rates of reported lower limb neuropathy symptoms, including foot tingling, calf fatigue, and minor balance disturbances. And yet, we've been told for decades that oranges are the gold standard of health. And they can be for certain bodies. But not for those already dealing with early signs of inflammation, nerve sensitivity, or mineral depletion. And here's the part most people miss: orange juice is even worse. When you drink orange juice, even freshly squeezed, you're delivering a concentrated hit of sugar and acid, without any fiber to slow it down. One small glass can contain over 20 grams of sugar, and it's absorbed in minutes. This sudden sugar load spikes insulin, floods your bloodstream, and can starve your legs of the slow, stable energy they need to support your frame all day. So what's the better path? Here's the good news. If you love citrus, you don't have to give it up completely. Instead, go for lemons, yes, lemons, but in water, not to chew. Lemon water gently stimulates digestion without the sugar or acid load. It helps hydrate your body and supports liver and kidney function, which helps remove built-up acids that stress your legs. Another option: low-sugar berries like raspberries or blackcurrants. They offer the antioxidant and vitamin C punch without the acidity and sugar overload. Even better, a few slices of papaya paired with a pinch of cinnamon. This tropical fruit calms the gut, supports collagen production, and doesn't trigger acid rebound or nerve sensitivity. Have you ever felt like your legs fall asleep too often? Or that a walk you used to enjoy now leaves your feet tingling for hours? You're not imagining it. And the culprit might be sitting in your fruit bowl, dressed in bright orange skin. Oranges are not evil. But for the senior body, especially one with even mild nerve or circulation issues, they can quietly cause setbacks in strength, stability, and confidence. And if you've felt this, you're not alone. If you're finding this helpful, subscribe and visit thegoldenyearsrx.com to join thousands of seniors discovering safer, simpler ways to support their health without side effects. Now imagine what happens when these same acids and sugars combine with a fruit that's even more exotic and often touted as a super detox. That's what we're covering next. The next fruit is a fruit that was once used as medicine, but when eaten the wrong way after 60, may actually drain your energy, damage your joints, and speed up leg fatigue. Let's take a closer look. Number 2. Pomegranate. Yes, pomegranate. The jewel fruit. Touted as a superfood. A natural detoxifier. A heart booster. You'll see it splashed across health magazine covers, juice cartons, and even anti-aging supplements. And for good reason. Pomegranates do contain powerful antioxidants. They can support blood vessels. And yes, they've been shown to reduce plaque in arteries in certain studies. But here's the truth hardly anyone is talking about, especially for seniors over 60. Pomegranate might be helping your heart while hurting your legs. Let me explain. Pomegranate is incredibly dense in a type of compound called polyphenol. These are what give it its bright red color and bittersweet taste. In small amounts, polyphenol are excellent. They help fight inflammation and free radical damage. But in larger amounts, or when consumed in juice form, these same polyphenol become hard to digest for the aging liver and kidneys. And that's where the trouble begins. As we age, our detox organs slow down. Your liver filters more slowly. Your kidneys excrete less efficiently. And suddenly, what used to be a health boost becomes an internal traffic jam, causing subtle toxicity, bloating, fatigue, and yes, leg heaviness. But there's something else even more critical. Pomegranate is astringent, meaning it tightens tissues and constricts. This is great for wound healing, but in your digestive system and vascular system, too much astringency can stiffen muscles and blood vessels. Have you ever felt like your legs are tight, not just sore? That strange tension in your calves, like the muscles won't fully relax. That could be a signal. Now let's talk about sugar. 1 cup of pomegranate arils contains about 24 grams of sugar, more than a chocolate biscuit. And when consumed as juice, that sugar hits hard, fast without fiber. 1 small bottle of pomegranate juice can deliver up to 38 grams of sugar, all at once. That sugar overload inflames your joints, reduces blood flow, and creates what researchers call vascular resistance, meaning your blood has a harder time reaching your legs efficiently. And guess what's most sensitive to that change? Your thighs, your knees, your feet. You might notice more pressure in your legs after walking, tingling, or a pins and needles sensation when sitting, and that strange heaviness that sets in mid-afternoon. You're not making it up. In fact, a 2021 senior nutrition study in Kyoto found that pomegranate juice, when consumed more than 3 times a week by adults over 65, led to a measurable increase in lower limb fatigue scores and was associated with a decline in walking speed after just 90 days. And still, many health blogs will tell you to drink it daily. Here's the better approach. You don't need to fear pomegranates, but you do need to treat it like a supplement, not a snack. Just a spoonful of the seeds, sprinkled over unsweetened yogurt or mixed with warming spices like turmeric, can deliver the antioxidant benefit without flooding your system. Want a better daily fruit for leg strength? Reach for black grapes with seeds, eaten in moderation. Or figs, which deliver potassium, fiber, and natural sugars in a slower, more manageable release. Figs also support venous flow, helping the blood in your legs return to your heart more easily. You can also explore warm stewed apples with cinnamon, a combination that aids digestion, calms inflammation, and strengthens connective tissue. Have you noticed your legs feel stiff after certain meals, even though you didn't overeat? Or that drinking pomegranate juice makes your stomach feel off, even though it's healthy? You're not imagining it. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply consuming a fruit that was never designed to be a daily tonic for an aging system. Pomegranate may sound like a superfruit, but for those over 60, it's often too intense, too sweet, and too astringent to be a regular part of your routine. Now take a deep breath, because we're about to uncover the last fruit. It is the fruit that Japan's oldest doctor warns about specifically. It's everywhere, in shops, in salads, even in so-called wellness cleanses. But when consumed after 60, it can quietly damage your circulation, weaken your legs, and raise your fall risk faster than nearly any other fruit on this list. I will now reveal it. Number 1. Papaya. Wait, papaya? Yes. This might come as a shock, especially because just moments ago, we recommended papaya as a gentle alternative to pineapple and oranges. And that's still true for some. But here's what Japan's oldest practicing doctor warns about, and it's something most people never hear. Papaya is a double-edged sword. For seniors with sensitive digestion and weak circulation, this soft, tropical fruit can either gently soothe the body or quietly weaken the legs, depending on how much, how often, and in what state it's eaten. Let's break it down. Papaya contains a powerful enzyme called papain, which is similar to bromelain in pineapple. It helps break down proteins, eases digestion, and reduces bloating. That's one reason it's often recommended to seniors. But here's what most people don't know. When papaya is too ripe, the papain levels drop and the sugar levels skyrocket. That soft, almost mushy flesh you find in overripe papayas. It may taste sweet and feel gentle, but it's packing up to 18 grams of sugar per cup, delivered without much fiber, especially when blended or juiced. And that's where the hidden danger lies. As your body ages, fast digesting sugar, even from fruit, causes blood sugar fluctuations that directly impact leg strength, circulation, and joint function. You've likely heard about sugar's effect on insulin, but did you know that in aging bodies, sugar also affects muscle protein synthesis? In simple terms, too much sugar interrupts your body's ability to repair and rebuild muscle. So if you're struggling with weakness in the thighs, sore knees, or trouble with stairs, and you've been eating papaya thinking it's light and healthy, this might be a piece of the puzzle. And there's more. Papaya, when consumed in excess, especially in smoothies or on an empty stomach, can create something called functional mineral depletion. That means the body uses up key nutrients like magnesium and potassium just to metabolize the fruit. And what happens when your magnesium drops? You will have leg cramps at night, you will experience shaky, unsteady walking, you will have sudden spasms or twitches, and experience fatigue that no nap can fix. Does this sound familiar? You wake up tired. You eat something clean, like a bowl of papaya. And yet by midday, your legs feel heavier, your movement slower. Even more surprising. According to a 2023 case report from a geriatric hospital in Kyoto, multiple senior patients experiencing chronic leg fatigue and tingling sensations had been consuming papaya smoothies daily, thinking it was helping. Once the fruit was removed and replaced with slower-burning alternatives like stewed apples or lightly steamed pears, the symptoms significantly decreased in under 2 weeks. It's not that papaya is bad. It's that it's too much, too often, and especially harmful when combined with other soft, sweet tropical fruits in smoothies or desserts. So what's the better approach? If you love papaya, you don't have to banish it. You just have to treat it like medicine, not a meal. Use small portions. Pair it with protein or healthy fats, like unsweetened yogurt or a spoonful of ground flaxseed, to slow the sugar absorption and buffer the enzyme load. Even better, swap it occasionally for green papaya, the unripe version used in Asian cuisines. It contains more papain and less sugar, and when gently cooked or grated into savory dishes, it supports digestion without the sugar overload. So let's bring this full circle. If your legs have been feeling slower, heavier, or weaker, it may not be just age. It may be hidden in your fruit bowl. These 7 healthy fruits, bananas, grapes, watermelon, pineapple, oranges, pomegranate, and papaya, are often praised for their benefits. But for seniors, the body tells a different story. You don't have to give them up completely. You just need to be smarter in how, when, and how much you enjoy them. Because your legs, your balance, your independence, your freedom to move without fear are worth protecting. And now you know how. If this video helped you rethink your choices, you're exactly who we made it for. Subscribe to this channel for more life-changing insights made just for people over 60 and the ones who love them. And visit thegoldenyearsrx.com, our community of like-minded seniors, where you'll find practical guides, gentle wellness tips, and stories of people just like you who are building strength, vitality, and joy one smart decision at a time. We'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay curious, and never let age decide what's possible.